So I know many of you watching may already have an idea of a software that you want to develop that you believe there is a market for and you want to get started. And that's why you guys are here is to really learn, Bubble and how to build these software applications with no code tools. Because a lot of, the prior notion to building a software was that it's super expensive. It costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. You got to hire developers. You got to manage developers. You have to learn how to code. And with Bubble, it kind of removes all those factors. But before you get started building your own software company, I wanted to really break down how you should prepare, how you should kind of vet your idea, come up with your idea, and really what you should, be planning for. That way, you don't just jump into development and without really a full plan in place, or else it can just take a long time. It can be a real headache. So, in these next couple lessons, I just want to cover really how to prepare, how to plan your application so you're not just jumping into the bubble editor making changes, but you have everything really concise and detailed and laid out in front of you, so there's no real guesswork involved. So I want to just go over just ideas and planning and really how to prepare when you have your first idea on a software company that you can get started on. So we're going to run through this checklist really quick, and we're going to start first with market research. So the first thing you do when you have an idea and you kind of identify what that idea might be, it might be a B2B business idea where it's like a business to business solution. So you're selling to other businesses. Or it might be consumer facing, where you have a B2C idea or a business to consumer application. But this is where it really all starts. So when you conduct market research, the first thing you need to identify are who your potential customers might be for your app. What problems does your audience face that you're trying to target? That your software could solve, and really focus on these problems, because the bigger the problems, the bigger the payday if you can come up with a solution on them. So the next thing is really, what is your audience's current solution to solve this problem as well? So then you'll start looking into, competitors and other people who have similar applications or maybe even the same thing, and see kind of what your target audience is using right now to solve that problem and what you can do differently. So what can you improve on upon your competitors or others with similar or same solutions? Then once you define that, it's like defining your value proposition and your angle. So part of selling any product or any service is having a unique angle, something that makes you a little bit different from all the other software solutions that are out there. And so what value does your software solution provide? That is the first thing you should be able to identify, is your value proposition. And really, you should be able to explain this in just a couple of sentences, so it's really, really clear and concise to anybody you tell your idea to. That is, your target audience. And then the next thing is, what makes your solution unique, again, compared to other solutions that are already out there or your competitors? What makes you different? What would make someone leave a competitor to use your solution instead? And really, this will start to get your mind rolling on, why are people going to use my application? What does my app really solve that is needed in the market that people are also willing to spend big money for? The next thing is product requirements. So this is where you actually start getting into more of like the development nitty gritty on the features and the tools that you want in your app. So the first thing you need to do is you need to list out all the features you want your app to perform. So what are all the different tools? What's all the different functionality? What does this software application actually do? And really break that down into detail. Then once you have a list of all your features, which most of the time is a lot, especially if this is your first software company, you're not familiar with really building MVPs, you get caught into this hurdle where it's like, I need to just add more features. But the thing to understand is, it's not about the number of features that you have. A lot of solutions that are out there that have done extremely well, that make millions and millions of dollars a year, are actually fairly simple solutions, and they really focus on solving one problem in the best possible way. So don't get caught into the trap that you need more features for people to buy your application. A lot of times, a lot of features can be overwhelming for your audience or your customer, or whoever is going to buy your product. So minimizing that is important, as well as it'll help you in the development process just speed things up and get things done faster. So the next step after you list those out is highlight the key features you need to build to have a really good working prototype. Really, I don't need to make this another line, but prioritizing these features based on the highest impact that it will have on your application. So just highlight the key features that you want in your initial prototype or minimal viable product, which is MVP, and really just focus on those features. The next thing is going to be your monetization strategy, which is really important because it's like, how does your application make money? Is it going to be a subscription model? And what does that pricing model look like? And how much are you going to charge? How much would people be willing to pay for your application? And you can do a lot of that research based on, you know, similar or some of your competitions or your competitors' tools and software that are already kind of doing the same thing. There's a lot of ways to come up with that, but I like to prioritize just how I'm going to monetize it in the very beginning. That way I know kind of what I'm shooting for. And most people developing software are out there to make money. So by having the pricing model in place helps you also set goals and expectations on how many users you want to have. What do you want your monthly recurring revenue to be? You know, what are the expenses that your application may cost? If you have an AI tool, you know, you're going to be paying for token usage. So considering those aspects as you're coming up with your idea and building and having that kind of already imprinted in your mind, before you really get started in the development side of things. The other thing is just your tech stack. So this was really important back in before Bubble was what it was what it is now. You had to develop a tech stack, like what different languages are you using, what, you know, databases, servers, you know, the whole shebang. And it gets really, really technical. Obviously, if you're here, you're trying to learn Bubble and learn no code. So Bubble is going to be the tech stack. The next thing is really, you know, even consulting with a developer or someone, depending on how sophisticated or advanced the application that you're trying to build is, or the solution that you're trying to solve, you may want to consult with someone before jumping into full blown development and spending tons of your time and, you know, maybe even a little bit of money trying to get an application on the ground if it isn't feasible or possible. So, and then finally, once you get all this done, you will begin building your MVP or minimal viable product, which we will be talking about exactly how to prepare for development and building your MVP in the next couple of